Federal prosecutors yesterday filed 9 additional criminal charges against Hunter Biden in Los Angeles, including 3 felonies. They're related to the tax fraud investigation by special counsel David Weiss. They say it was a 4-year scheme not to pay at least $1.4 million in federal taxes from 2016 to 2019, and that Hunter had made millions in income in the same period, about $7 million, but he didn't use it for taxes. The indictment reading, quote, between 2016 and October 15, 2020, the defendant spent this money on drugs, escorts, and girlfriends, luxury hotels and rental properties, exotic cars, clothing, and other items of a personal nature. In short, everything but his taxes. Now, this is on top of the criminal case Hunter's already facing in Delaware, related to allegedly lying about his drug use on a federal form used to buy a gun in 2018. He's pled not guilty to those charges. Now, you would think that from the criminal perspective, the House Oversight Committee and those who've been calling for Hunter's head would be at least somewhat satisfied, right? After all, as I've explained previously, there has never been another criminal defendant in America who has been charged with just the single crime of lying about drug use on a gun form with just one gun that wasn't used in a crime and where the defendant has no criminal record. But for Oversight Chair James Comer, this still isn't enough. He said, quote, Hunter Biden's corporate entities implicated by today's indictment funneled foreign cash that landed in Joe Biden's bank account. Unless U.S. Attorney Weiss investigates everyone involved in the Biden's fraud schemes and influence peddling, it will be clear President Biden's DOJ is protecting Hunter and the big guy. President Biden's DOJ just filed an additional 9 charges against the president's son. All Comer has presented so far is loan repayments to Joe Biden. And the Hunter gun charge wouldn't have been brought if his name wasn't Biden. The tax charges are a close call. In most cases, once someone pays it back, as Hunter did, they don't bring criminal charges. But let's even say that the tax charges are totally legit. Still not enough for Comer. David Weiss, a lifelong Republican holdover from the Trump administration, like John Durham was, kept in place to avoid the sort of claims of bias being made here. He's denied that anyone has told him what to do or not to do. But again, it just seems like it's just never enough. Joining me now is Rodney Davis, former Republican congressman from Illinois. Good to see you again. All right. Am I wrong on this? Am I overstating this, that it just seems like there's just never enough when it comes to Hunter Biden?
No, I don't think that's the case at all. You have to go back just earlier this year. Hunter Biden was given a sweetheart deal that a federal judge actually blew up during a hearing because it was something that even the special assistant U.S. attorney said it was unprecedented. And then you got the charge for lying on the form. And frankly, Dan, these tax charges should have been filed before any sweetheart deal. That's why America needs answers. That's why the Oversight Committee deserves their time to be able to exercise their responsibility of congressional oversight to find out if anything involved a sitting vice president.
First, let's start with the judge. The judge did not throw this case out because of irregularities or because he wasn't charged enough. The judge threw this out because the parties couldn't agree on whether this would apply to any potential future prosecutions. And the judge was right, by the way, I think, in asking those questions. But that doesn't mean that it was somehow thrown out because of a sweetheart deal. And secondly, it starts to sound, and I promise I'll give you a chance to respond, it starts to sound like, you know, people like Comer are accusing Weiss of just being corrupt, right? He's just part of the DOJ. He's just this corrupt guy. What, that Weiss, this lifelong Republican appointed by Donald Trump, is now lying to what? Protect Hunter Biden?
Well, if you go back and look at the testimony that was in court, Judge Noreika specifically said that the deal that was being presented to her was unprecedented. And the special U.S. Assistant Attorney said it was unprecedented.
But not for the reasons you were saying.
It was unprecedented because it gave the court jurisdiction over certain procedures.
That's true.
For future.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your cable provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.